So I wanted to record a little bit of me going to get the horses. Usually they really want to be by the gate, and I had a little bit of issues with them wanting to just stand there all the time. So I went out while they were both away from it, obviously not far, but I'll take it. Like, they obviously don't come out here. There's fence there. You might not be able to see it, but I'm just going to go over there and reinforce them for standing and being relaxed away from the gate. So, like, I'm going to go and catch them in a second here, but ideally you could do this like throughout the day. So I just have little pieces of hay cubes so I can roll to each one. And that's what I'm reinforcing, is them just being calm and relaxed over here. So then I do come back to get my halter and I get Dakota, but I would like ideally do this at different times during the day. So if I was working one of the Mustangs, I could go over, reinforce them while they're out grazing or doing something else, while they're just giving you a calm behavior and not at the gate. Um, and that can help also with just your clicker training too, because a lot of the times, like, they'll see you and they'll get really excited, and then you go to a session. So you don't really want to reinforce those really excited behaviors. So by going out and giving them reinforcement, be that the alfalfa cubes or hay pellets or flake of hay, while they're out grazing or resting or doing something else where they're having a really low, calm energy, then we can have more of those behaviors happen in the future. So I do a lot of that in the winter time. I think this is springtime, but I do a lot of that in the winter time because obviously there's a lot less to eat there, and they do have hay nets out the whole time, but it's just not the same as grass. So I went to go get more food and then come back and I'll reinforce them a little bit more for just standing relaxed. But I do this more in the winter because there's less to eat, so they're usually a lot more interested in training sessions with me, which is not necessarily a good thing because I want them to be really relaxed. So I do this more often than I'll just go out randomly. Obviously, my horses are in like my backyard, or if I'm working with a different horse, or I'm doing something around the barn or house or whatever. I know that's not always possible for everybody because a lot of horses are boarded. My horses used to be boarded. If you could go out there, hopefully, if they're close by, you can go out and just in their pasture, or go out and then get your tack and stuff and then come back, or something else. There's always a way to fix it. You got to be creative and figure things like that out. Obviously, it's not ideal, um, but I mean, there's ways to do it. So I'm still just kind of relaying little pieces of hay cubes to them, and they're just kind of hanging out and munching on those. So, but that's kind of what I'm just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And then while she's relaxed, I'll go ahead and catch her. So I'm just gonna go grab her halter and work with her a little bit. But see how now they're away from the fence, so I can go. Oh, I went to go get more food, and then I can come up and grab her halter and take her out. So she did come up to the fence. That's perfectly fine. As long as she's staying relaxed and she has a calm energy about her, which she looked like she did there, where she walked up nice and slowly. I'm just going to ask her to back up. And what I did a lot was roll those treats away, and so like they'd have to go back and go get them. And that worked pretty well for them. Um, just doing little pieces of that. So, or you can also go ahead and put some pellets like over where they were standing, and then come to the gate. That could work as well. Or just reinforce them for standing away from you or for backing away from you. There's lots of different ways to do it. And you can have different combos of things. You could also use mats or stationary targets, things like that. This is what I tried first, and it did work out pretty well. Um, I'm totally fine with a horse like, nickering to see me, or wants to come up to the gate, wants to participate, but I don't want a ton of energy. I don't want them too excited. So we do want everything to be calm and relaxed as well. So it can be very easy to just do this behavior and feed and feed and feed, and then the horse gets really worked up. So that was a nice little example of kind of just working on that relaxation. So now we're going to actually work on the session. Um, Even though that stuff is really important that we just worked on, but I'm going to work on that hand target a little bit more. So we're still kind of struggling with that. But she's got the cheek part down. It's the neck that she's not quite understanding. So start with that cheek target and then work my way down. So she's gotten that. That looks pretty good. She definitely looks nice and relaxed about it. Now we'll try like the beginning of her neck. There we go. So I think one of my issues with teaching this was I went too far down her neck too quickly, and then she just didn't understand. I really should have spent more time here, like right about there, maybe even a little closer to her head, like that junction, like right at her throat latch, basically, where she could, because she really understands the head target, but she was really struggling with the neck, so I just should have gotten a little bit slower. Here you can see she's getting it. I probably could have even given her a little bit more time to just chew and hang out because I think she was a little bit distracted with food. She's like, okay, I have food. Like, I don't really need to figure out how to get more. Um, there, like, she moved, but she didn't touch my hand. So then I just represented it. That looks better. She's actually moving it. Um, I might also have my hand a little bit too far away from her. That's definitely a possibility. So here, like, my hand's really far away. So I need to have it up like a good foot because I moved it way too far down, way too fast. So there, I kind of moved it up a little bit more. Unfortunately, you can't really see. I did move it up, and then she stepped over to get it. So again, I can use that handheld target if I need to help her out. But yeah, I'm just taking too many big steps and I'm clumping things together, and she's not understanding it. That's better. I could still have that hand closer to her head. So like I had it like at her throat latch, then I'd probably maybe move it like an inch down and an inch at a time is probably what I would do, just specifically for her because she's struggling with this. She is getting it here, but you could see with the videos where she would be good and then she would be confused and she's just very inconsistent. So like here now I'm asking even further back, like toward her shoulder. So and then she didn't do anything. So I represented. She's kind of moving her neck, but you can tell she's not um, there we go. Now she's kind of getting it. She's trying, but the first two times she didn't, like, she wasn't really close to doing anything. So um, it's important that I kind of set her up so that she's not just not offering any behaviors at all, or it's too hard and she doesn't want to try it, or like you saw last time we worked on this, she was getting frustrated and starting to paw. So I just need to make it a little bit easier for her. She's trying really hard. Like, definitely, this is my mistake, and I need to make it a little bit easier for her.